Good morning. It's your host with the most, Tenkai Star, and today I'm going to be showing you the top 5 tricks for beginners. Before we jump into this, if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. It's good to see you. And if you are a new viewer, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell so you can see cool new videos. Alright, now let's jump in. Alright. So, we're going to go to File and create a new project. This is tip number 5. When you create a new project, don't create a blank project, because that will erase all the sound effects. It'll erase all the default music, all of the default assets. So don't check that box. And as you can see here, we have all of these sound effects that come with the software. About 150 currently. And that is really painful to import 150 sound effects, not to mention find them. So you want to keep the default stuff, and I would recommend just deleting what you don't want. I usually delete the graphics. Alright, tip number 4, screen size ratio. What is screen size ratio? Well, in the old days, TVs were made like this. It's like 4:3 ratio. Today's TVs are they're more like this, about a 16:9 ratio. So why does it matter? Let me show you. So here we've made a game with a 4:3 ratio. You can see the black lines on the sides is considered unattractive. Abstract Origin pointed that out for us, and I ran with it because it really is bad, especially when you're publishing to Steam or Nintendo or whatever. It's not going to work. So you want to go with a 69. So this is how you do it. We're going to go to our settings, project settings, and then we're going to go to screen resolution, and you can see I have it on 1280 by 720. 1280 by 720, and that is applicable to put your game on Nintendo Switch. You'll need to do at least that. Alright, tip number 3, the undetectable group. What is an undetectable group? Well, it's a group that's undetectable. We're going to go to an object settings. You can see here it's undetectable. I've personally made that group undetectable. You can find this in your settings, group management. You'll see here I've made the group called Undetectable, and basically I use that group for any kind of menus, any kind of GUIs, anything that you don't want to interact with anything. If you kind of want it to not interact with anything, is undetectable. You don't want it to detect anything. So that's really good. As a side note, I'm going to throw in another bit here. You do not want anything on the player group. See, it says player group right here. You only want the controllable player as the player group. That is extremely important. It really is when you get into the advanced coding, and you really don't want to have to do 90% of your game over just to change the groups. So yeah, I would use the player group just for the player, and undetectable for things that are undetectable. Tip number 2, the 0 folder. What is a 0 folder? It's something I made up. Does it work? You bet it works. So what it does is it makes your program load faster. And this is kind of it's a beginner tip, it's an advanced tip, it's a tip anybody can use. So you see I'm going to go to add folder and name it 0, which I've already made one up here, and I put it at the top of the list. Drag it, put it at the top. Alright, so when you're switching tabs at the top, it's going to load whatever is up there. It's going to take about a split second to load it. It's going to load this, it's going to load that. But if you have this 0 folder at the top, you see it switches a lot faster. Now if you have a ton of assets right here, or you have a slow computer, yada yada yada, it will actually take a long time. And then you're switching between all the tabs with a little bit of load time. It is a split second of difference. So we're going to drag the 0 folder up to the top. And now it's at the top of the tile tab. We have top of the animations tab, top of the objects tab. And you can see it switches between the tabs fairly quickly. Now, if you have a ton of assets just thrown in the left side here, and you don't have that empty folder at the top, then it'll actually try to preload some of that stuff. And it'll take a split second to do that. It depends on your PC, how fast it is. But when you're spending 1,000 hours on your game and you're making a game for a year, this little tip will actually save you quite a bit of time. And honestly, it saves you stress, because you don't want to sit there and fumble with it while you're on YouTube and doing whatever it is people do. So the 0 folder thing, it will help. Put it on your scene tab, your tiles tab, animations tab, objects tab, especially the resources tab. Just put it on all your tabs at the top, and you can name the folder whatever you want, as long as it's empty. Which I have another 0 folder in there. So as long as it's empty, then it's just going to load that folder first. Alright, tip number 1. If you have an object and it's not supposed to be on the ground, check not affected by gravity. Right here, 100%. Common mistake. You're sitting there, you put something up on there on your menus, maybe you have something on the menu, it falls down through the screen, hits the floor. I know every single person in the community chat room has done it twice. Not once, but twice. So make sure you check not affected by gravity. For flying enemies, your GUI, for your menus, anything that's going to stay in place on the screen, basically. That concludes our video for today. Thank you for watching. I pretty much made up all of that stuff on my own, particularly the 0 folder and the Undetectable Group. So those are my kind of things. Obviously, I'm the biggest teacher for the software. Even the teachers learn from me. Even the software company learns from me. So make sure you subscribe. This is the only place you can get it. It's the real deal. It's the #1 place. It's the only place you're going to get it. But I hope this stuff helps you. And if you see me in the chat room, you see me around, show me your games, because I really want to see them. Y'all have a good one.